O-Level Biology 5090, Paper 1, Variant 2, May-June 2025. And in this video, we will discuss from question number 21 to question number 40. So we are going to move towards the question number 21, and question number 21 is the photomicrograph shows a sample of blood vessels viewed through a light microscope. They have labeled 1, 2, and 3, in which they have shown different uh, blood cells. Which row shows the functions of the labeled parts of the blood? Here you can see the labeled part 1 is red blood cell. Why it is red blood cell? Because it don't have the nucleus. So this is the red blood cell. And here you can see a white blood cell of neutrophil, which have proper lobe nucleus. So this is, we will write it white blood cell. And at 3, you can see this is not any cell. So it is plasma. So which row shows the functions of the labeled parts of the blood? So function of red blood cell is to transport the oxygen. So oxygen transportation, there will be 1. And then you can see number 2 is white blood cell, which are used to engulf the pathogens. They protect us from different diseases. So engulfing pathogens, there will be 2, oxygen 1, and then hormone transport. So plasma helps in the transportation of hormones and other, you can say, substance which are present in the blood. So it will be 3. So according to this, you can see A is the correct option. B, C, and D are not correct options. They are wrong. So only A is the correct, going with the photograph. Now moving towards the next question, and next question is, which row describe the type of pathogen that causes malaria and its method of transmission? So they have given us the 2 pathogens, A, B, protozoans, and C, D are virus. And they are transmitted by, so first of all, the pathogen A is transported by insect. Yes, the protozoans are transmitted. Protozoans are transmitted by stagnant water. No, this is wrong, because they are not transported by stagnant water. And then we are moving towards the third one. Third is C, virus, and virus is not transported by blood, because virus is not the cause of malaria. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium, which is transported by mosquitoes. So Plasmodium is a protozoan, and mosquito is an insect. So A is the correct option. B, C, and D are not the correct options, because virus is, no doubt, virus is transported by the blood, or virus is transported by the moisture, but malaria, we are talking about the malaria. So malaria is caused by the Plasmodium, which are transported by the a vector, and that vector is the mosquito. Question number 23 is, a disease is caused by the bacterium that infects small intestine, producing a toxin. And the toxin causes osmotic movement of water from the cells into the small intestine, producing diarrhea and extreme dehydration. Which disease is being described? So, osmotic movement of water from diarrhea and extreme dehydration. So, all these symptoms are of cholera. AIDS is sexually transmitting disease. So, AIDS is not part of this. Malaria is transmitted by the mosquito. Sickle cell anemia is the disease which is caused by the mutation in the structure of DNA. So only cholera is there, which infects the small intestine, and during which the bacteria infects the small intestine and produce a toxin chloragen. So due to that toxin, osmotic movement of water from the cells into the small intestine is increased, and which produces diarrhea, and due to the diarrhea, the dehydration is produced. So B is cholera. 24, which statement about immunity are correct? Question number 25 is there. The first statement is memory cells are produced as a result of both active and passive immunity. Memory cells are only produced in active immunity, where the body's own immune system responds to a pathogen. So passive immunity involves receiving antibodies from an external source, so which provides immediate but temporary protection without creating memory cells. So statement number 1 is not correct. And statement number 2, antibodies are made in response to antigens on the surface of pathogens or in vaccines. Antibody, yes. When any antigen or microbe enters into the body, then as a result of that, the pathogens produce the toxins in the body. So vaccines and antibodies, they are called. So according to this, the statement 2 is correct, because the fundamental mechanism of the immune system. So when body is exposed to antigens, whether through a natural infection or a vaccine, triggers beta cells to produce specific antibodies. So then statement number 3, which type of antibody has a chemical shape that is identical to that of the antigen? Yes. Antibodies do not have any identical shape to antigens. They have a complementary shape, not identical shape. So in case of identical shape, they will not fit over there. So this statement is not correct. They have complementary shapes. According to this, only D is the correct option. Question number 25. And question number 25 is, which letter shows where urea is produced? A is pancreas, B is large intestine, D is liver, and C is small intestine. So, you know, uh, pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Small intestine helps in the digestion and absorption of the food. Large intestine in the absorption of ions and water. So, liver is that part of the digestive system where the urea is produced. Urea is synthesized over there. Uh, because you know that urea is produced through a process called deamination. Deamination is the breakdown of amino acids. and the excess amino acids are broken down as a result of during deamination. So D is the correct option. Which substance would not be present in the urine of a healthy person with a normal diet? So a person who is a healthy person has a normal diet, he will not have glucose. Glucose will be present in the urine of the persons who are suffering with diabetes. So A is the correct option. Salt, urea, and water are not the correct options because the person who are healthy, they don't have glucose in their body because the extra glucose is stored in the form of absorbed into the body as a result of insulin, and it is changed into glycogen. Now question number 27 is there, and question number 27 is, which part of the eye contains the greatest density of light receptors? So here you can see that question number 27. First of all, the cornea. Cornea, the clear front window, it helps in the refraction. Refraction takes place. And optic nerve, uh, the blind spot where no receptors exist between nerve fibers are exciting the cells. So optic nerves take the messages towards the brain. So iris is there, which is the colored part, which controls the size of the pupil. Iris controls size of the, and fovea is the yellow spot where the receptor cells are present, which are cords, rods, and cones. So D is the correct option. Now the next question is question number 28. And question number 28 is, the diagram shows the front of the eye as seen in cross section from above. Which diagram shows the eye observing an object in the distance in dim light? You know, in dim light, the eye needs to capture as much as light possible to form a clear image. So to achieve this, the iris muscles work to dilate the pupil. So here and in, you can see the lens. When looking at a distant object, the light rays entering the light are nearly parallel. So focus these rays onto the retina without over refracting them. The lens must be thin. So this happens because the ciliary muscles relax, increasing tension on the suspensory ligaments. So according to this observation, you can see in A, the lens is very round shape, and in that case it means the eye is you can say observing an object which is very close. Again, D is also just like this, but C and D, in which the lenses are very thin, but in C you can see the pupil distance is very small. So this is not correct option. Only B is there, which have a thin thin lens, and you can see the distance between the pupil. So it has been dilated. So it is wider open. So you can see the B is the correct option in this case. Now, the next question is, the different studies have shown that movement of electrical nerve impulses traveling along neurons slows down with age. Studies A, B, C, D have published different results. The average speed of a nerve impulse in people who are 40 years old is 55 meters per second, which study showed the least reduction in transmission speed between the ages of 40 and 60, which is the 20 years about. So the first option is the speed reduced by an average 0.14 meter per second per year. Meter per second per year, you can see. So we have, they have given us an average. So we have to find out which one is the correct option. So we will calculate it as a 0.14 average for about 20 years. So 0.14 multiplied by 20 years, it will be equal 2.8 meter per second. And second, they have given in meter per second. So, and the third one is the speed reduced by 10%. Speed reduced by 10%. So 10% in 55 years. So we have to find out 10 into 55 divided by 100. So if we calculate it, let me divided by 100. So it is 5.5 meter per second. And in D, they have already given 10 meter per second. Well, in this case, in A option, 2.8 meter per second, in B, 8.2 meter per second, and in C, it is 5.5 meter per second. The speed reduced by 10, and in the D is 10 meter per second. So it means the least reduction. The least reduction is 2.8 meter per second. So A is the correct option. B, C, and D are not the correct options. Next question is, the graph shows the concentration of glucose stored in the liver of a human, during which period of time is the secretion of adrenaline causing the blood glucose concentration to move towards its set point. First, I would like to discuss what is um, adrenaline do. So adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. It prepares the body which is by increasing the amount of glucose available in the blood for respiration. So adrenaline is secreted by the adrenal glands, which are present at the kidneys, at the dorsal side of the kidneys. So, and second, if liver glycogen is being converted into blood glucose, the concentration of glycogen in the liver will decrease. So, if uh, glucose, if it triggers the livers to convert, it starts going back to glucose. So here the set point is adrenaline is usually secreted when blood glucose is low or when an extra boost is needed. By breaking down glycogen, it raises blood glucose back up towards its normal. So here you can see towards the graph, A point, you can see the glycogen, concentration of glycogen in the level in A at A are rising. So you can see it is rising. So it is rising. This happens when insulin change the excess glucose into glycogen. And you can see at B, glycogen levels are again falling. So it is towards this, it is falling. This is where glycogen is being converted to glucose. Glycogen will break down into glucose. That is the reason the glycogen concentration is decreasing. So at C, glycogen levels are falling further below the baseline. So you can see this is the baseline. So this is the baseline. And here the glycogen levels are uh, further decreasing. So here you can see glycogen levels are rising back to baseline. So here you can see the question, during which period of time is the secretion of adrenaline causing the blood glucose towards the set point. So it was the set point. So the answer here in this case, the answer is A. So answer is A. Sorry, answer is B actually. Mistakenly, I have said A. So it is B because it is moving, decreasing, and this is the set point. So it is moving towards this. So B is the correct option. The diagram shows one of the endocrine glands in the human body labeled X. So here you can see which hormone is produced by endocrine gland at X. So gland L is the, you can see at the brain, this is pituitary gland. So pituitary gland, often called, we say that it is the master gland. So it controls many functions. So pituitary gland produces several hormones, including luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormones, and growth hormones. So here, uh, uh, adrenaline, it is produced by adrenal gland. Glucagon is produced by pancreas. And luteinizing hormone is produced by, and the last one, progesterone, is produced by ovary. So C is the correct option, which is produced by the pituitary gland. Question number 32. A muscle cell from a horse contains 64 chromosomes. How many chromosomes are there in a sperm cell from a horse? Well, 64 in a muscle cells, but in the gametes or in the sperm cells, the chromosome number is reduced to half. So it will be 32. So B is the correct option over here. Then question number 33. The diagram shows the fruits of some plants which fruit chooses when to disperse its seeds. You can see bee has, you can see hooks over it. So it will be dispersed by the animal fur or body. And C and D, they are the fruits which can be eaten by the other organisms. So only A is there, which have a dandelion, or you can say a parachute-like structure, with the help of which it can float into the air. So because this parachute-like structure will increase surface area, so easily it can float into the wind. So A is the correct option. Question number 34. Sperm cells are stored in the laboratory before they can be used in artificial insemination. Substances added to the sperm cells for storage have been shown to damage the acrosomes, this lead to the reduction in fertility. Which statement describes why reduction in fertility may occur? Uh, if we make a diagram of sperm cells, acrosome is there. Acrosome has enzymes which are used to break down to digest the shell of the egg. So it is the reason that the sperm cell is able to enter into the egg for the process of fertilization. So the sperm cells are rejected by the egg cells? No, the sperm cells cannot penetrate the egg cells. Yes, if acrosome is not there, enzymes will not be there to penetrate or to break down the shell of the egg to enter. The sperm cells cannot swim to the egg cells. For, for swimming, they need flagella or tail. The sperm cells cannot detect the egg cell. So this is also not the correct option. So only the acrosomes are damaged. So that is the reason the it will not and able to enter into the egg for fertilization. So B is the correct option. The hormone that control the menstrual cycle are released in varying amounts during the cycle. During pregnancy, menstruation is prevented and there are no eggs developed or released. What would be the levels of hormones? Follicle stimulating hormones, luteinizing hormone, and progesterone during pregnancy. So, you know, the follicle stimulating hormones are there, which help, uh, which stimulate the eggs for development. Luteinizing hormone helps to release the egg. Progesterone, um, they are called as the pregnancy hormones, which are produced in high amounts. So first by the corpus luteum and then by the placenta. So in that case, the progesterone should be high. Progesterone should be high, and luteinizing hormone during pregnancy, because there is no need for the release of new egg, so it should be low. And again, follicle stimulant, no follicles should be matured at that time. So according to this, B is the correct option. A, C, and D. So follicle stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones should be low as comparison to progesterone, which should be high during pregnancy. Now question number 36 is, Sickle cell anemia is caused by the recessive allele. A couple have two children. One of the children have sickle cell anemia. The parents and the other child do not have sickle cell anemia. The couples are expecting their third child. What is the probability that this third child will be male with sickle cell anemia? So here you can see that the mean both parents must be carriers. So they will be carriers for this. So in case of carriers, they will have uh, the probability that their third child will be the male with sickle cell anemia. So we will calculate. First of all, as you know, the parents have will be the carriers. If they are normal, there is no reason to produce a child with sickle cell anemia. So they are carrier, they are not normal. So for normal, the we will use this genotype. For sickle cell, we will use this. And for sickle cell anemia, so AS will represent the carriers are hybrid and they are normal. So here in this case, the both parents are, so they will be A. So as a Puneet here, we have, so they have, you can say 25% or 1 by 4. So, and the second is couples are expecting their third child and third child will be a male. So the male or female, you know, XX, XY. So the probability of an X or a Y is 50%, which is 1 by 2. So these, we will multiply both of these probabilities as 1 by 4 multiplied by 1 by 2, it is equal to 1 by 8. So probabilities is 1 by 8. So if we calculate its percentage, so 1 by 8 multiplied by 100, answer is 12.5%. So according to this calculation, B is the correct option. Well, the question number 37 is, each human gamete has one sex chromosome. Which statement is correct? All egg cells have an X chromosome. Yes. All egg cells have Y chromosomes. Y chromosome is present in the sperms. Sperm cells have X chromosome, and all sperm cells have an X chromosome. All sperm cells have a Y chromosome. You can see here, males have X and Y chromosome, and they produce sperms. 50% of these sperms will carry X and Y. So therefore, statement A is an only absolute rest that all uh, X cells will have provide only the X chromosome. So according to this, A is the correct option, which is absolute correction. Question number 38. Question number 38 is, what is a food chain? So A diagram showing an organism getting its energy by feeding on other organisms. So first of all, I would like to say that the transfer in food chain, energy is transferred from one organism to the next, starting from a producer. So in option A, you can see it describes a single feeding relationship. That is not correct. A diagram showing an organism's diet. Again, this is not correct. A diagram showing the flow of energy through a chain of organisms. Yes. A diagram showing the names of trophic levels. No. This is actually the flow of energy or the transfer of energy from one organism to the other. So C is the correct option. Question number 29 is 39. Soil that contains more water allows denitrifying bacteria to grow well. Which effects will be seen on the growth of plants in the soil? More nitrate ions are taken up by the plants, so plants grow less well. Denitrifying is the breakdown of nitrate ions. So more nitrate ions are taken up by plants, so plants grow less well. Not correct option. More nitrogen fixation takes place. Nitrogen fixation, so plants grow taller. So this is not the this process is not involved. It will not help plants to get the soil nutrients they need. So denitrification again, it will not help the plants to get. So there are fewer nitrate ions in the soil, so plants grow less well. So due to this is the correct option because during this denitric bacteria converts the nitrates into the soil into nitrogen gas which escapes into the air. So due to which plants need nitrates to make proteins for growth, removing more nitrates means the plant will grow poorly. So D is the correct option. Question number 40 is there. And question number 40 is the statements describe the process of eutrophication which may happens after excess nitrogen fertilizer runs from fields into the streams. They are not in the correct order. Here you can see the bacteria decay dead plants and use up oxygen. Animals die or leave the area. Light cannot reach aquatic plants. The growth rate of algae increases. Yes, it will start when the excess nitrogen fertilizers runs into the feed of the streams. So first the growth rate of the algae is increased. Then light cannot, due to increase in the algae growth, the light cannot reach aquatic plants, due to which the aquatic plants die. And then bacteria, when they die, the bacteria decay dead plants and the animals and use up the oxygen. And then the animals die or leave the area. So according to this, first of all, there will be 4 and then 3. And then 5, then 1, and then 2. So C is the correct option. So it was all about from question number 21 to question number 40. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel to watch more videos. Thanks for watching.